Tools and Twisties, Precision Tools Performance Cars. We have a buy this, skip that edition. Harbor Freight has another parking lot sale coming up, and I wanted to focus on some of the items I think are worth buying and some of the items that maybe should be left behind. Two main categories: U.S. General service carts and cabinets, and screwdrivers and pliers for all the Harbor Freight brands. 20% off on the service carts. That blue service cart right there is one of my favorites. I've talked about it in some other videos. There's a full toolbox tour video that I'll link to below. You can see just how many tools you can fit in it. $600 list price, 20% off, makes it $480. It's about as cheap as I've ever seen it, and I think they're fantastic cabinets. At that price point, if you're looking for a new, smaller, mid-size tool cabinet, it is the go-to cabinet, in my opinion, in the Harbor Freight line. Second section that we're going to cover is 35% off, which is a pretty good discount on all pliers and screwdrivers for all the Harbor Freight brands. So some of these I think are definite pickups, and some of them I think are misses. So let's start and take a look at what I think is worth buying. First up is these Icon Long Reach, and they are clones of the Snap-On. We've talked about these before. I think that they're a great deal. $20 on sale, $29 list price. And they are really close to the Snap-On. Snap-ons are maybe a little bit nicer made, but super high quality, and I've been really happy. I pick them up and use them interchangeably, and I'm happy with either of them. The grips are good, the machining is good. Warranty is probably easier to take care of on the Harbor Freight than the Snap-on, but I don't think you're gonna have a problem with either of them breaking unless you really abuse it. So yeah, 20 bucks, I think that is a go. Next up is the standard needle nose. Again, the Icon is a pretty close clone of the Snap-on, and it is a great deal at 13 bucks on sale. So I think that is a win, either as your primary needle nose or just as a backup pair. Nicely made. I've been very happy with them, and at 13 bucks, boy, I think that's a buy. Next up are the diagonal cutters, 34 bucks, and then on sale for 23. I think these are a maybe. If you do, these are designed really for cutting zip ties. They're designed for softer materials, plastic, copper. You don't really want to use these on hard wire. And if you cut enough zip ties and you want flush cut, and it's worth 23 bucks to you to get flush cut, still a heck of a lot cheaper than the Snap-on version, and they're nicely made. But I think that's a maybe. Go for it if you really want to do a lot of zip tie work. Next up are the twin grip clones, which are here. Again, instead of now cloning Snap-on, they're cloning Knipex. And it's a pretty close clone. 16 bucks on sale for the Icon version. And I think that the Knipex ones are a little bit more than double that. 33 bucks. Now, I love the Knipex pliers, and I use them enough to make it worth it to me to spend the extra to buy the Knipex. But if you're not sure if you're going to use this kind of plier or not, go ahead and get the Icon ones for 13 bucks. If you love them, they'll probably last a lifetime. If you use them all the time, just the feel on the Knipex is a little bit better. When you're comparing the Icon to the Snap-on, the price differential is 4x, 5x, but the price differential is much less on the Knipex versus Icon. So often I think that maybe the Knipex is the better choice. So 13 bucks is or 16 bucks, kind of hard to go wrong. But if it's a tool you're going to use a lot, maybe consider getting the nicer one. What's next? The Raptors. This is just the Knipex. I do not have the Icon version of this. 13 bucks for the Icon version versus 40 bucks for the Knipex version. Now this is more of a specialty tool that you may not use quite as often. They work great, but you may not use it quite as often. And at 13 bucks, sure, get the Icon version. Throw it in your toolbox. If you use it a couple times a year, maybe you use it all the time. If you find it's your go-to every day, maybe upgrade to the Knipex. What's next? I think this is a pretty good deal. This is the Quinn. We've moved into Quinn now. It is a 3-piece, 1,000 volt rated plier set for 18 bucks. I have one of these in Knipex. It's a $50 pair of pliers, just a single one. Is it nicer than the Quinns? I'm sure it is. It's a great pair of pliers and I love them. But you know, 50 bucks for a single tool versus 18 bucks for 3 tools. And the Quinn stuff that I've seen so far is pretty high quality, lifetime warranty. I think it's probably worth picking up the Quinn set if you do any electrical work and you want a pair of insulated pliers. 18 bucks is kind of hard to beat. What's next? Crimpers. So Icon has a set of crimpers, 12 bucks. I use these manual crimpers all the time. I have ratcheting crimpers, but these are for insulated and non-insulated crimp-on connectors. This is a channel lock pair, and I use my channel locks all the time, and I love them. I have several pairs of them. But the Doyle version is 12 bucks versus the channel lock version, 30 bucks, and you'll pay even more for a Knipex version. So that might be something if you want to add a pair of crimpers to your drawer, or you need a second pair. 12 bucks is kind of hard to beat. So that is the Doyle crimpers, 12 bucks. One of my favorite tools recently are these Knipex plier wrenches. I love these things. I have them in a couple different sizes. They work really well. They'll get down on a nut or a bolt and allow you to, even just use one hand and it stays fastened on there. You don't have to keep squeezing to maintain contact with the bolt or the nut. Great tools, not inexpensive. I have not tried the Icon version. The Knipex version is 52 bucks and the Icon version's list price is 43 bucks, which is a no-brainer. Get the Knipex if you're paying full price. At 28 bucks versus 52, honestly, I still say get the Knipex. But if you're not sure if it's a tool you'll use very often, sure, maybe go ahead and try the Icon version. See if you use it. So, likewise, these are the Knipex versions of the water pump, the Cobra pliers, and 14 bucks for the Icon version versus 40 bucks for the Knipex version. This is another tool I use a lot, and to me it's worth it to pay for the Knipex version. But 14 bucks is pretty great deal. And the Icon stuff is good. It's lifetime warranty. So if you don't have a set, you don't want to spend the 40 bucks on the Knipex version, sure, grab it, 14 bucks, done. Throw it in your box, you have it. If you break it, bring it back. Screwdrivers, a little bit different story there. I've had the Icon screwdrivers in the past. It is a $50 set on sale for 32 bucks. Not my favorite. There's a lot of really great screwdrivers out there, including these vessels. And the vessels on Amazon are 53 bucks. Now it's a 6-piece set instead of an 8-piece set. You don't get the stubbies with it. But these vessels, Megadoras, are some of the best screwdrivers I've ever used. And that includes Snap-On, that includes Mako, that includes Vera, Viha, you name it. These Japanese-made vessel screwdrivers are just awesome. The handles feel great. The tips are phenomenal. They have a knurled shaft on them. And I think that, you use screwdrivers frequently. So maybe spend a little bit extra, get the vessels. The Megadora line on the vessels, I think, is the best choice. And, great tool for 53 bucks. Tekton just came out, and you can watch, I released another video on these. Tekton just released a new line of screwdrivers. These are made in Germany screwdrivers. They're made by Witte, W-I-T-T-E. You can see it says made in Germany on them. Really nice screwdrivers at a really reasonable price. Tekton stuff is lifetime warranted. It's fairly easily to warranty. You take a picture of it, you send it to them, and they send you new tools. It's pretty quick. And, I think these are another good choice. I'm just not a huge fan of the Icon screwdrivers. So there you have it. Some picks and some skips on Icon. Long nose pliers, Win, Snap-on versus Icon. No reason to not get the Icon. These insulated pliers, definitely a win at the price point. Get the Icon ones versus the Knipex if you're not going to use them frequently. And, you know, maybe the Raptors. Great pliers. At any rate, I'm going to go tomorrow morning and I'm going to pick up a couple more Quinn tools and I'll give you another review. I had a couple more here that I wanted to just quickly go over with you. I had some stocking stuffers that I thought holiday season coming up maybe are worth considering. Here we go. A couple more things. So these are, the category I put these in are just extra pliers. These long, high leverage, 11-inch diagonal cutters, 23 bucks, not cheap, but a lot cheaper than you'll get them any other brand. You know, if you have every other plier in your drawer and you want one more, that's one to add. Likewise, these are the high leverage pliers. Pretty good. I've used them a few times. They work really well. These long reach, 45-degree icons, 14 bucks. Pretty good deal. And these pistol grip ones, which honestly, I've never used, but they do have a pretty cool tip on them. It's sort of like the twin grips, sort of like the engineer pliers designed for screw extraction. They're pretty cool. 14 bucks. The only problem is that they're hard to store in your toolbox. They kind of just don't want to fit anywhere. Hose grip pliers, I have these, not an icon, but again, 13 bucks, pretty cheap. Maybe pick them up if you don't have a pair. And these are stocking stuffers. These are some Quinn tools. You want some cheap tools, holidays are coming up. $5 for the pliers, for the diagonal cutters, and $6.50 for the linesman pliers. That's pretty cheap, you know. Get some of those while they're on sale. Likewise, these Doyle demolition pliers, $6.50. Get a couple pair, beat the crap out of them, and bring them back and get some new ones when you've completely worn them out. And if you want something really cheap, the Quinn 2 screwdriver set for $3 1/4. Pretty cheap. Maybe stock up on those. Keep one in every drawer of your house. At any rate, that's Tools and Twisties. And as you can see, we like our pliers, we like our icons, we like our tools, and we like our twisties, and we like our cars. And that's Tools and Twisties out.